Well, hello friends, my name's Antonio and welcome to Back at the Ranch. We're actually at the gun range, not at the ranch. So Pablo's with me. Got some targets that we're going to put down at 100 yards, and it's almost deer season. So I have a scope that I have not sighted in with the ammo that I'm currently using, which I finally learned how to do hand loads thanks to my buddy Pablo. And I got a load that's working really well, my Christensen arms. And I'll be using my ATN 4K Pro, which is the Excite 4K Pro, for hunting this year. And the reason I'm using that one is because it records. So it does really good recording in the daytime and nighttime. I'm gonna be sighting that in again at 100 yards. I did bring an extra camera with me today as well, so at least you can see the hits this time, because last time I was out here didn't have that second camera, and it's not as exciting when you don't see the hits. So this is the end of the range. We're gonna set up and I'll be right back with you. You can put the other ones at the bottom if you want. I don't know what height you want yours at.
Yeah, I'll put mine over here. It's like where I want to shoot, so.
Okay, so targets are set up and we're heading back to the bench over here. Gonna load up. I'll be sighting mine in, like I said, with that ATN, kind of talking through the one-shot zero option that it's got. And Pablo's gonna be sighting his in as well. So, but I brought a few other firearms with me. So who knows, this might become another gun tube channel. Seems like that's what people want to watch. But I got a couple of 22s. Got a 9mm. And I don't know, a few other things. Got my 380 with me as well. And Ramon's coming over. He's going to be sighting in his 308. So he has, what is it? Ruger American Ranch Gen 2. So we're going to be doing that one as well. So let's get set up. Something I did forget to mention. I actually got Pablo setting up his chronograph as well. So the cool thing about this scope, which again is the ATN Excite 4K, and I've got the 3 to 14 power, is that it's fully digital and it has a ballistics calculator built in. And for that to work, you need to know exactly what the speed is for your bullet, in addition to bullet coefficient, height from the barrel, and a whole bunch of other things. So I've pretty much plugged in all the numbers except for speed. So I'll be working on that today as well. That way I can range and make adjustments and hopefully hit a 200, 300, and so on and so forth. I think that really the furthest I would shoot out at the ranch, back at the ranch, is about 100 yards. Ranch is pretty small, so anything beyond that really doesn't make any sense. I typically shoot at about 60 yards on my blind, and Pablo's got his set up at 100. We have a couple of new spots that we're going to be setting up as well, about 100, 150 yards. So I'm going to sight it in 100. Once that BC is in there, once the BC information is in there, ballistic calculator, then I should be able to adjust easily for 50 yards. So I'll take at least one shot at 50 to make sure it's still zeroed. So he's about done. Let's get this going. So Pablo's still setting up that chronograph. I figured I'd talk to you a little bit about my loads. You can see, got a few that I've already fired there. But in a nutshell, I've got military brass, 7.62 brass. This is FC made in 2019. Right, not sure if that pops up on camera right there. But it's already been fire formed, has been annealed using Winchester primers with the Sierra Game King. I think it's a 165 grain, 2145 I think is the number on it. And using Varget powder on that, I ended up at 41.2 grains, and that's kind of the sweet spot. In a nice 1-inch group, 1.5-inch group at 100 yards, which is perfectly fine for hunting. Everything else that was off the shelf was pretty much giving me 2, 3, 4 inches, depending on which ones I would shoot. Of course, I used match ammo. I was getting awesome rounds, awesome groups. But match ammo is not really made for hunting. It's made for, match shooting. So as a matter of fact, the last hunt that I did, if you haven't seen that one, Pablo and I both harvested nice bucks that did a little bit of blood tracking to find our harvest, but you can click right here on this link if you haven't checked that one out. But you'll see why I switched over from a match bullet to an actual hunting bullet. In a nutshell, I had to track that deer down for about 150 yards, which is not ideal. Ended up on someone else's property. Sorry to spoil it for you. But we're just about set up here, so let's get going. All right, we're about ready to go here, and we do have neighbors that just showed up over at the pistol range. Sounds like they're using a suppressor too. So I'm not going to be able to show you guys how I do one-shot zero, simply because I don't have the equipment to record what I'm doing. But in a nutshell, you go into the one-shot zero option in here, take that first shot. So put your crosshairs on the bullseye, take that first shot, and let's say that it hit over here, right? Keep your crosshairs on zero on the bullseye. You're going to get a second set of crosshairs, which you adjust up and over to the spot where the bullet hit. So again, you're going to have a crosshair here and another one that moves. Once you confirm that, basically this becomes your new zero. So when you aim, you're essentially aiming over to the correct spot. So we're pretty much all set to go. Get my ears on, even though we're using a suppressor, it's still supersonic.
I just need to try it out. I don't know if it's
Alright, so we've decided to scratch the chronograph because the battery's dead. So we forgot to check the batteries before we left, which is no big deal. Still gonna zero this. Got the other camera recording. It's been recording for about 15 minutes, so hopefully that thing didn't overheat and shut off on us. Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, going hot.
Then I'm ready.
Got your ears on?
Yeah.
Oh, forgot my eye protection. Be right back. All right, got my eyes and ears. I've already got this in the correct mode. Going for middle target on the right, closest to the camera. And safe, going hot.
End it.
So I can't see the shot through the scope. So at that distance, it's not super clear. But we've got some optics, so we're gonna check that out and make that adjustment. So he's getting his binoculars out, and while he's doing that, just for reference, I'm gonna show you what I see through here. So I can record, I just can't record while I am doing zeroing. So let me exit there. And here you go, we are recording. So this is what I see right there. I'm gonna zoom in all the way. So notice I got a clear picture to the target, and I can see bullseye, I can see center. I just can't, it's a little bit blurry down there. So very effective at multiple ranges for shooting, but not for observing. So he's got the optics out. Where are we at? All right, so now that I've seen it, you guys have actually already seen it. So I'm about a foot high, maybe 2 inches or so off that first target. So make my adjustments. I have my reticle on zero, adjust all the way up. And a little bit more. About there, more or less. So let me go ahead and save that zero, save it and exit. Go full zoomies. I'm going to set it to 3-0 again and take the second shot. Should have done paper. There we go, second shot. Going hot.
Then I'm ready.
I can see that one because it's a dirty bird. I'm about an inch down and an inch to the right, correct?
Correct.
So just to make sure I didn't move, that wasn't me. I'm gonna send a second one. If it hits in the same spot, I'll be adjusting again. Technically, that's supposed to be a one-shot zero if you do everything perfectly. But I got 5 shots just in case. So here we go, next shot. Stacked it.
Right next to it, yeah.
Right next to it. All right. Safe on. Got 2 more rounds to go. Gonna make my adjustment. All right, so Ramon's at the gate. I'm gonna take this one shot and go open that for him. Since I made the adjustment, I don't want that bore to cool off too much. On safe. One loaded up. I'll go full zooms again so we can keep that the same. And here we go. This one should be on bullseye if everything is working the way it's supposed to be. Little low and to the left. I'm happy with that. I'll make another adjustment after I let Ramon in the gate. So thanks for hanging out.
Shooter ready?
Send it.
Send it. You are,
He's shooting the top target.
yeah, he is about 1 inch to the right.
Yeah, I think that was me. I think I pulled it, honestly. But we'll find out right now.
Oh, if that was you, you went a little more to the right. No, actually, no, sorry. No, you came in, yeah, you came in 1/2 inch. Oh, dead center.
He stacked them, right?
Yeah. No, he actually went in more.
Yeah, no, I pulled the first 2, dude. They're shooting balls on.
No adjustments?
Nah, nothing.
This is what I ended up with right here. It's about, looks like a 1 inch group, but I shot the first 2, adjusted, went down. Unfortunately, that second camera wasn't rolling the whole time, so we didn't get to record all the shots, but got it where I'm happy with it at 100 yards. I'll be shooting at about 50 to 60 when I hunt out at back at the ranch on my blind. Sorry, out of breath because I just walked 100 yards that way, 100 yards back, and straight over here. And come to see Ramon. So he's down range. He came over to the 200 yard range. Ramon actually just sighted in at 100. He's getting a decent 1.5 inch group with factory ammo. He wants to see what he can do at 200 because the ranch he hunts at, he has opportunities to take shots at 200 to 300 sometimes. So he wants to see where he's at. And he's got his gear in the truck. He's basically shooting a Ruger Ranch Gen 2 with a, I think it's a Magpul stock. What's the stock you got on your rifle? It's a Magpul, right? I say it's a Magpul stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a Magpul. I'll let him tell you about it. Hold on a second. All right. While Ramon sets up and gets his firearm ready, I'm gonna try this again. I actually have a second phone. I don't know why the other one glitched out, kept giving me errors. It's possible the memory's full and I just didn't check it. I'm gonna walk down to the end of the 200 here, put this up so we can see how that Ruger Ranch does with the factory ammo that he's got. Again, I don't remember what the ammo is. I'll let him talk to you guys, but let me get this set up and I'll be right back with you. All right, made it to the end of the 200 yard. Man, that's quite a hike. Let me get this set up here. All right, that is set up. Let's get to walking back 200 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. So you see that first baffle right there. There's actually 3 more baffles after that one. That one's at about 100 yards. And man, I really love this range. Old range, has been here for Lord knows how long. I want to say it's been here since the 40s maybe. Very nice range. Had the 500, excuse me, the 200 range, which I'm on, the 100 range, which I sighted in my rifle, and they have a 25 yard as well for handguns and 22s and things of the like. And it's all outdoors. Usually there's not a lot of people here unless they have an event going on or it's early Saturday or Sunday morning. And today is Sunday, but it's late afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock, 5:15. So not too many people here right now. There was a couple and their son that was set up next to us earlier, so I didn't get to make some of the other recordings I wanted to, just because I didn't want to disturb them. They were shooting a lot, and in addition to that, they were talking a lot, so the video wouldn't have been too great. Plus Ramon showed up and he started chit-chatting with Pablo, so maybe one of these days I'll have a range back at the ranch. Almost there. Almost there. Alright, let's go check out Ramon's firearm. Well, alright Ramon, so I'm out of breath. It's like 400 yards. I know you were out of breath too. Talking and walking's tough on us old guys.
Hard thing to do, especially when we turn 49 this year, man.
49, I'll
49.
be 50. I'll be
Yes,
50
sir.
in 2 months. So anyway, pretty cool that you were able to make it out here. I know I called you last minute, but you decided it at 100. You're going to try this out at 200. But why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your setup here? I already let everybody know it's a Ruger American Ranch Gen 2.
Yes.
But it's not stock anymore. You've done a few things to it. So why don't you tell us what your setup is?
Thank you, Antonio. So, yeah, last minute calls are always the best. Anytime. So, thanks for the invite. We're out here testing out my Ruger Ranch Gen 2, calibrated in .308. It's no longer stock because as you can tell, I purchased a Magpul stock for it.
So this comes with was it wooden stock? No,
it was synthetic.
It was synthetic stock, but it was very short, very compact, right? And this one gives you a little bit more adjustments where you can adjust the length of pull. Of course, you have the attachments on there as well.
And then about a year and a half ago, I decided to purchase a Burris Eliminator 3 scope. As you guys know, man, it's a penny to do that.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen this in one of the previous videos, Ramon and I got to do a hog hunt. God, it's been about 2 months now, maybe a little more. And he did use a scope on his 6.5 Creedmoor, which he actually sold so he could get this baby right here. So
exactly.
He's excited. But go check that video out also if you haven't. But wait till after this one. I'll leave the link at the end of the video. So sorry to
interrupt no problem. And then thanks to my friend Antonio again, and who's been giving me all the tips about guns and whatnot. I also went and got me a 30 caliber suppressor, which it should help out a little. And thanks
with the ear protection at least, right? With
the ear, because man, the first time I shot this baby at 16-inch barrel, that thing was loud, and I forgot to put my head
you
ear
forgot to take
protection
them with you. You said you didn't have one. You were at your boss's ranch.
Yeah.
You said you didn't have ear protection, but you wanted to sight it in, and you squeezed off like 10 rounds with no ear protection.
No ear protection.
And you regretted it.
Well, I did it twice, and then I said I gotta grab something. Of course, I got the closest thing I had, and I put some toilet paper in there, so it muffled the sound a little bit.
Wet it up a little bit.
Yeah,
that'll help definitely.
So,
So the suppressor, so I know that you're new to suppressors. Is actually the first suppressor you ever purchased, technically. I say technically because there's a long story that we're not going to get into here.
Yeah.
But tell me about the suppressor. What brand is that?
So the suppressor is a...
Don't remember
brand. I have the box.
All right.
Stepping out real quick.
Here we go.
Stepping right back in. So it's a YHM. It's a good starter suppressor. I checked a couple of reviews on it on YouTube. People liked it. It's a good starter, like I said. Suppressor, something for me that I'm just getting into.
Yeah.
You know, this suppressor thing.
And for you, if I recall correctly, it was more about budget. You didn't want to spend way too much for
Correct.
what you're going to use it for. So you want for whatever they had in stock that was most affordable.
Correct.
That you liked.
Yeah. So I wanted to buy a rifle and keep it budget as much as I could. But as you know, the more less budget you want to keep it, the more you end up spending. And it's good to put money on good quality products. So
I agree with that 100%. Let's take a step back. So you had told me, hey, I'm going to sell my 6.5 Creedmoor. And you told me that you were looking at a 308, but it was, I don't remember the model, but it was like 1,200, somewhere around there.
Yes.
Right? And you wanted to get a suppressor. And
Yes.
I said, wait a minute, hold on. Have you looked at the Ruger Ranch? Right? Because the Ruger Ranch technically is a budget rifle for 308. You know, it's a great rifle for the price. I think you paid what, 700?
700.
700, not counting the stock, of course, right?
Yeah.
So you got the stock separate, not counting the scope. So 700, that left in the budget to get the suppressor.
To be able to get the suppressor and some other stuff.
Almost the same price of buying the other rifle, you got the suppressor, the rifle, and the stock.
Yes.
Right? So awesome setup.
Yep.
Right. So I think people are tired of hearing us talk about it. Let's see what it can do at 200 yards. So I've got that other camera running. Hopefully it hasn't overheated. But let's do it. I'll get my ears on.
Going hot.
Send it when ready. Man, that sounds nice.
I don't see it hit though.
We'll go check it out in a second.
Let me shoot one more time.
Did you range for 200?
Yeah. Let me do it again. Alright, so. Going hot.
Send it. Alright, I got my ears off. So, you said you don't see where it hit. Now, something that's cool about this burst eliminator is a built-in rangefinder. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to check the exact speed out of this rifle so he can put in all his information. So there's a very strong possibility that he's off target because the rangefinder's off because he doesn't have that speed adjustment in there. So you entered the speed from the box, correct? Yeah. So if I recall correctly, the speed from the box is usually off of a 20 to 24 inch barrel. He's on a 16 inch barrel, so that's going to slow it down. Although he does have the suppressor on there, you know, that really doesn't add a lot to the speed. It's going to be more so the barrel itself.
Let me shoot one more.
Yeah, go ahead. Target?
What is going on, dude?
Instead of using the suggested by the rangefinder, try dead center crosshairs at 100.
Okay.
And see if you're at least on paper.
All right. Going hot.
Send it. All right. Want to go take a look? Let's go see where we're at. All right, so we know that Ramon's hitting a really good group at 100. He's never shot this combination at 200, so he wants to see what it can do. And the fact that he doesn't have the right speed in there, I think, is what's impacting him right now. So I'm guessing you're probably shooting high. No, let's see. No, you're probably shooting low, because I'm guessing you have slower speeds on this, but we'll see. All right, we're here, and he's low. I was right. So I would venture to guess that's ranged at 200 right there. And when you aimed crosshairs, it came down, which is typically what happens. So the range is off because the speed that's in your scope is not right. Your ammo is probably shooting a lot slower than what the box says, so it's dropping more. And the reason it's shooting slower is because your barrel is shorter. Yeah. So it's exactly what I was saying. So you hit the button, and you get a dot that lights up. That dot is going based on an assumed speed. So because you're at the bottom of the paper, you're going to put that dot on 0, and you need to see where the bottom of the paper is, and that's your 200. I get to shoot his gun. That's really what I wanted to do. It's on paper, but it's not hitting where I thought it was going to hit. Mind if I send one more?
You go for it.
To make sure I didn't mess up, because I'm used to shooting with a bag. I used the wrong line. I did mess up. I measured at the bottom of the cardboard instead of the bottom of the target. Okay, now I see where it's at. 50 off.
Yep.
Alright, Ramon decided he wants to take a shot before we go down range, so he can try doing what I just did. And we'll see where we're at. So I was way off, I'll admit, but the two that hit about the same spot, so at least I was consistent. We just need to figure out the speed on this thing. Let's go look at it. Alright, we're here. So,
Yeah, you did hit it good.
what I did is I ranged, which by the way, his first two shots ranged at 200. That was crosshairs at 100. These were my two shots, so at least we're in line. He just needs to adjust to the right a little bit. They're all lined up. So I ranged at 200 just to see what dot it was. I looked for the bottom, and I moved. Basically a holdover is what it is. I did the holdover based on the 200 range, and they both hit there. So my idea is right, just the speed's really affecting it. Not sure exactly how he did his, but he's not too far off also. So in a nutshell, you need to get the data entered right for the range to work.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Again, this is not a how-to video. This is just us doing our thing, getting ready for hunting season. So we'll see you guys next time on Back at the Ranch. Thanks for hanging out.